7 Most Mysterious Places Vanish Underwater. St. Michael's Mount. St. Michael's Mount is an island to the southwest of England, which is home to a medieval castle and church. The oldest surviving buildings date all the way back to the 12th century. The legend has brought pilgrims, monks, soldiers and fishermen to the island ever since. 4 miracles are said to have happened here, and it's also believed to be on a special spiritual line. So what's the problem? Well, access to the island is somewhat limited during low tide. There's cobbled causeway that you can walk across in just a matter of minutes if however you don't check the times of the tides. You might be stuck between worlds, kind of like the mists of Avalon. Actually no, I am just joking. In the past it was a big problem, but now you can pay a small fee and take a boat back to the mainland instead. This disappearing access is what continues to add to the magic of the place. Green Lake. This is perhaps by far the most amazing place that vanishes underwater. The Green Lake in Trahos, Austria is normally only about 3 feet deep. For most of the year visitors go to see the beautiful scenery and to sit on beaches next to the water to enjoy the tranquility. There are smaller bridges to cross streams and it looks like a perfect scene for a landscape painting. The region is surrounded by mountains, and every year when the winter ends, the snow and ice from the mountains melts. All of this water flows into the lake, which more than doubles in volume and completely floods the park. The benches, trees and bridges are all completely submerged under 36 feet of water, and for a time are only accessible by divers, where people were once having picnics and enjoying the fresh air. Canadian Mural. If you've ever looked out across a bay and thought the endless mass of grey concrete was rather depressing, then you might just change your mind after seeing the Bay of Fundy. The bay lies between New Brunswick and Nova Scotia in Canada. This provided artist Sean Euro with the unique opportunity, and he decided to paint a mural on the wall that would disappear and then be revealed by the changing tide. He reached the wall by a surfboard and painted the entire mural using eco-friendly paint. Euro needed to be very precise with his planning, ensuring that he knew exactly where the tide would be to make sure that he could complete the work. It was finished in late 2017. And one of the mysterious about this is that it's not entirely clear how long it'll be there for. With its constant exposure to seawater in the sun, it's quite possible that it will have completely disappeared in less than 6 months. Mont Saint-Michel. 1979. The sanctuary is surrounded by medieval walls with a series of buildings and towers that rise above the base in the ancient abbey that stands over it all. The structure is about 3,000 feet in circumference, and it is built upon a granite outcrop that reaches 256 high from the Bay of Mont Saint-Michel. The structures have been there since 966 and have since endured countless wars, including the 100-Year War and the French wars of the region. Because it sits in the bay, the surrounding waters rise and fall with the tide when the sea levels are low. In the late 1800s, to allow permanent access to the island no matter what the level of the sea is, but this had the unintended consequences of blocking the flow of sediment, which resulted in massive build-ups along its side. In 2014, road built on stilts was completed and the original causeway was removed, so now you can visit by car at any time of the day, and the water and sediment is able to freely flow beneath the stilts. The Manuyard White Sandbar. The Manuyard White Sandbar is one of those places. It's in the Philippines, and while being just as stunning, it is a cheaper option for tourists and the more famous sites like the Maldives. The sandbar is on the eastern shore of the island of Negros. It's a couple of square miles in size, and during low tide is the 6th of April 2023. Covered in pristine, standing about 15 feet above the ground, phone is stilts. When it's like this, you can see tons of different colored starfish that some people go around and collect, although I don't recommend doing that if you care about the environment. Soon enough, thought the tide starts. to come in, and it's quick. Within an hour the entire sandbar discovered in ankle-deep water. Before you know it, it's deep enough in the azure blue ocean. Dad, you will need to swim or seek refuge in one of the structures. It's such a peaceful,